Hey, it's your old pal Avian and loaded with another action figure short session, and it occurred to me while I was kind of surveying the Captain Americas in my collection, in my 6-inch Hasbro Marvel Legends collection, that do not currently live on the work table here. All of these Captain Americas, Bucky Captain America, the new Bucky Cap, and the concept Captain America back there, and some MCU ones, and Ultimate Captain America there with his helmet. I'm probably going to take that off. I think I want him to look more like the traditional Captain America. But anyway, I was looking at, I was surprised to learn, or to realize, oh, and this guy's over here too at the moment, the 20 years Marvel Legends Captain America, celebrating the launch of the Marvel Legends line from 2002. This guy debuted in 2022. You're probably sick to death of hearing about him or being reminded that his shield comes from the Marvel Select Captain America that they made about a year before they went out of business. Okay, it's fine. But anyway, I was surprised, number one, to learn that there are 4 Marvel Legends Captain Americas in my displays. I was thinking it was 3 for some reason, but there are a total of 4. In the silver and Bronze Age display is the Alex Ross 80 Years Captain America with the Alex Ross 80 Years head sculpt. Then I have the unmasked 20 Years Captain America with the Steve Rogers head in my primary Avengers display. Don't give up, you're almost there. Then I have the Jack Kirby Thousand Oaks Memorial Shelf, my Jack Kirby display. I have a Secret Wars Captain America with his great big smile because he's very happy to be part of Jack Kirby's creative legacy and to be standing shoulder to shoulder with Jack King Kirby. And then number 4 of the Marvel Legends that are not on the work table of my many Captain Americas is the one in the Marvel vs. Capcom display, which is this guy here. The Gamerverse Captain America that came with the Blue Venom in the Gamerverse Marvel vs. Capcom wave that they didn't actually call Marvel vs. Capcom, but we all know what it is. So anyway, the thing that I noticed while I was kind of making that survey was that there's another. Okay, so this is the Wolf Cap Red Onslaught Captain America, the first good modern Hasbro Marvel Legends Captain America from which all the rest have descended. The classic Captain Americas, there have been 5 between 2014 and 2026 so far, and they all in one way or another evolved out of this guy. I did a 2-part video on it. Just look for Captain America Evolution in my archives. It was a few weeks back that I did that post, and it basically tells you how we got from the 2014 Red Onslaught Build-A-Figure Wave Captain America that you see right here in the center of your screen to various incarnations and stops along the way. 5 different figures between him and the Marvel vs. Capcom Gamerverse Captain America, the evolution of Captain America. It is on this channel, and you can watch it anytime you like. But I forgot about this body because I was only talking in that video about classic, or forgot about this character / figure. I was only talking about classic Captain America looks, the red, white, and blue, Steve Rogers only. But this is another one that is on that Grim Reaper body mold that debuted around 2014 and that had that first Wolf Cap Captain America on. I'm just noticing something now about this one that's different from all the other Captain America style figures on this body mold too. They did something new. They did something different with this one that I can't believe I never noticed before. But I'm looking because I thought maybe it's on there and I just never noticed it. If you look really closely on the belt, there are belt loops on his belt, on the U.S. agent's belt. This is John Walker, U.S. agent. I think this came out around 2022 or 2023. It was an update of the previous one that had been on the Bucky Cap mold. And what got me was when I turned him around a second ago, I saw that. And I'm like, what's that? And what's that one? And what's that one? Huh. So they have a Captain America belt that has belt loops sculpted on it. God damn. Didn't know that. Just had this figure since it came out. Since like the week it came out. Never noticed that before. John Walker is kind of the clone stamped Captain America. You know, Jim Shooter came up with that clone stamp plan way back in the, I think, late 80s, mid to late 80s, of let's take all our most popular characters and clone stamp them, which isn't, I think, a term that existed back then, but you know what I mean. And that is how we got John Walker, the U.S. agent. That's how we got Jim Rhodes as War Machine. That's how we got Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider, and Eric Masterson as Thor. Jim Shooter basically decided they could double their revenues by, basically watering down the gin and making it half water. And cloning all of Marvel's most popular characters. Was there, I guess, Red Hulk, I guess, you could fold him into that as well. Although I don't think he's ever really sustained a super successful series on his own for any length of time. But come to think of it, no, neither has U.S. Agent. But it basically was a way of padding out the character base of the Marvel Universe by, clone stamping, Spider-Man? No, it's the Scarlet Spider. You got to buy his book too, that kind of thing. Yelena Belova, there you go, another kind of clone stamped character. But being that this is on the Grim Reaper mold from 2014, and it is a type of Captain America, a quasi-Captain America. At one point in the comics, John Walker became Captain America. This is the John Walker from the MCU. I showed him in a previous video. So basically, these are both John Walker. One is a comic one, and one is the movie version. Actually, TV show version. He was only Captain America in the TV show. I don't think he was actually Captain America in any movies, although he was a U.S. agent in some movies, or at least a movie, the Thunderbolts movie, and I'm not here to talk about him anyway, so he's off to the side now. U.S. Agent has had a number of costumes over the years and a number of different shields, including one that had a big sculpted American eagle on it and all kinds of stuff like that. I like this costume the best for U.S. Agent. It looks military, it looks tactical, it looks stealthy. The shield is weird. I'm not really sure what the origin of this shield was, but it has that French blue ring around the outside of it, and I love that. And I managed to find a shoulder harness that kind of matches that French blue. I don't know where I got this shoulder harness from. I don't think it came with this character. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments, but I think that came from somebody else, and I am not sure who it was, but I do like a good shoulder harness, as longtime viewers of this channel are well aware. Have spent an awful lot of money to get a figure with a shoulder harness, just for the shoulder harness. As you can see, they're about the same height. I mean, it's essentially the same figure. Let's do a little back-to-back action. Like that movie. Yeah, see, they're... if U.S. Agent might be a smidge taller. It looks like they're wearing the same boots and have the same legs. They're both pinned and the same arms. I'm not sure. Could just be a trick of the light. Or, you know what? It could be the size. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, so U.S. Agent's head is up a little higher on the neck, if you can see that. Wolf Cap, of course, being a part werewolf, his head is lower to his body. And then if we look here, you can see the difference. See the gap there? The difference between the chin and the clavicle. His is definitely higher. So that's the reason why I guess U.S. Agent appears to be taller. When they first announced this U.S. Agent figure, I thought they were going to reuse the head from Wolf Cap, and I don't think it's a million miles away in terms of the expression or the lower half of the face. It may have been a resculpt of a digital file, or maybe they just took inspiration from the Wolf Cap face design. This is when Hasbro was still making Steve Rogers kind of an old man compared to the handsome young buck that he is right here. Handsome Cap. Hey, look at him. Oh my God, he's so beautiful, isn't he? But since I've talked at length, see, I'm using the peg holding hand because I don't want to break his stupid clip on his shield. There we go. People don't know how to do that. It's amazing. Since I haven't mentioned this U.S. Agent, who I believe was in plentiful supply at Ollie's there for a while for $10, I don't think people knew what to do about the U.S. Agent or what to do with him. I did add the pistol. It's one of those black 1911 Desert Eagle type pistols that came with the retro Deadpool, and the Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure Wave Winter Soldier, and probably half a dozen other characters as well. Sometimes you get it painted. I think the 80 Years Retro Deadpool, I think it came with like a tan pistol grip. But yeah, this guy, he's not part of the evolution because it's just a repaint of the Wolf cap, the 2014 Red Onslaught Wave cap right here. I don't think there's anything. The only new thing about him, I think, is the head, and then they just repainted the body with the U.S. agent. I mean, it would have been wonderful if all the stuff on the chest, all the stripes and the star, if all that had been sculpted, if they'd gone to that trouble. And it makes you wonder why they went to the trouble of sculpting belt loops on his belt. That's really strange. And also the color is strange. Shouldn't the belt loops be black because his pants underneath are black? The way it looks like the loops are a part of the red at the bottom of his tunic rather than, I really feel like those belt loops should be black, guys. But then they would have had to pay somebody to paint them black, and Hasbro, right? Hasbro gonna Hasbro. But, did I say this was going to be a short session? I thought it was going to be a short session, and now it's like 11 minutes later. What the hell happened? You told me this was going to be short. Huh? All right, it is what it is. I know I like to talk. You don't have to tell me that. I know that. Got a lot to say. A lot of thoughts and feelings. Oh, also, Captain America's legs were much further apart than U.S. Agent. Now what happens? That long neck still gives U.S. Agent a little bit of an advantage there. And putting his legs together makes him a little less stable, I see, but that's okay. So I love both of these figures. I love all the caps that are built on that base of the Grim Reaper body mold, which became pinless with the Secret Wars Captain America. That was one step in the evolution. That was the fourth step in the evolution of the Hasbro Marvel Legends modern Captain America. And then the fifth step, of course, was the Marvel versus Capcom. Oh, I think I can get him without knocking everything over. Marvel versus Capcom, Gamerverse Captain America. Basically is the pinless version of the same body mold, but the improvements with the Gamerverse one were the shoulder, butterfly joints in the shoulders, and he has a bigger shoulder ball for the deltoid there, and it's a different muscle. It's got a little bit more muscle definition. The head is the same as the 20 years cap, except that there is more. The eyes are wider. Basically, the eye holes in the mask are wider because they didn't paint blue on the inside of it the way they did with this guy, but otherwise it is exactly the same identical head. It's just that the difference in the paint deco, this one has more blue around his eyes, and this one has the flesh color around his eyes. I like them both. This one looks a little squinty and mad, and this one looks just a little more determined, but I do like them both. And really, just to get back to the whole point of the fact that I hadn't really showed you, I don't think this John Walker U.S. Agent figure, which I think is about 3 or 4 years old now, did make a brief appearance at Ollie's Con. I should have probably bought a couple of more just because it's a Captain America adjacent character. And I really do like the costume quite a bit. I haven't liked any of the other costumes that he's had, but I do like this one. I do like this one quite a bit. And I love the shield because it has that French blue. I want a Captain America in that blue. The blue you see on the outer edge of that shield. I would love a Captain America in that sort of French blue. French blue is one of my favorite colors. I've probably mentioned that before. Probably way too much. But anyway, yeah, still thinking about Captain America, guys. Thinking about my U.S. Agent here, and I'm just going to put him back in the West Coast Avengers display. Briefly, a flash went through my mind that I should paint those belt loops black, but I'm not going to do that. That's the only one I have, and I don't want to mess up my figure. One of the most important principles of having an action figure obsession is try not to mess up your figure. Yeah, well, I want to do this, that, and the other thing. Well, just, give it a try, but try not to mess up your figure. That's the most important advice I can give you, especially if you only have one of them. So, thank you for stopping by this action figure obsession video. If I said it was a short session at the beginning, I apologize. That turned out not to be true. It's not really a long session. I mean, could be another 15 minutes or a half an hour more to go, and I'm pretty much done. I've said all there is to say, except the usual boilerplate. You know it. You know it. You love it. You ready? If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. If you hated it, leave a thumbs down. I'm just okie dokie with that. That's fine. If you hate it, you hate it. You know, you like what you like, you hate what you hate. What can you do? Leave a comment. Any thoughts on the U.S. agent, John Walker? Do you enjoy the character in the comics or in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Do you think there's a place for him in either or both, or is he just a useless clone stamp of the real deal? Steve Rogers, the Sentinel of Liberty, Captain Frickin' America. That's what I'm talking about right here. He's like, get me over there. Get me over there. Put me in, coach. All right. So, yeah, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you like my content, as they call it these days. And hit the notification bell when you subscribe so that you can be sure to be updated whenever I upload another video. Thank you very, very much for spending 16 minutes of your day with me today. I am always grateful for your attention and your support and for your interest in what I'm talking about here on Action Figure Obsession. Stay frosty, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.